Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a comedy fantasy film, Miss Granny. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with an old woman nicknamed Granny, narrating how men's attention toward women decreases as they get older. When women are in their 20s, men would fight over their sexy bodies and young hormones like rugby players. When women are in their 30s, there are fewer men vying for their hands, but they still get decent attention. When women become middle-aged, men kick their dying ass away, like a golf ball being hit by a club. It turns out, Granny is a 74-year-old widow working at a cafe. She lives with her son, her daughter-in-law, granddaughter, and grandson. Granny is very proud that her son is a successful professor at a prestigious university. One of her customers, who is a senior citizen, insults her by saying that if her son loves her very much, then why can't he buy better shoes for her? The customer also shows her a formal picture of herself that she had recently taken at a studio. The two women end up fighting each other. Granny even ends up hitting her elderly male co-worker, who is also her best friend named Bestie. Granny goes home and berates her daughter-in-law for not cooking a dish properly. Ever since she started living with his son's family, Granny has not gotten along well with her daughter-in-law. She even asserts that she knows better about how to raise children than the daughter-in-law. Granny goes to the market and checks out the shoes she's been wanting to buy. However, it's too expensive, so she just leaves. When she gets home again, she finds her daughter-in-law passed out on the floor. The ambulance manages to get her to the hospital in time. The doctors tell the son that the daughter-in-law cannot experience much stress anymore since it will affect her health. Since her tenuous relationship with Granny is the principal cause of stress in the daughter-in-law's life, the granddaughter suggests that they just put Granny in a retirement home. But the grandson opposes this. Granny hears this argument and feels bad. The next day, a woman comes to the cafe where Granny is working. She accuses Granny of stealing her family's soup recipe after her mother had given shelter to Granny and her son many years ago. The woman is very angry at her because her own mother died because of heartbreak after Granny stole the recipe. But Granny does not regret what she had to do in order to survive back then, especially since she was a poor single mother raising her son alone. Granny roams the streets that night, desolate and alone. She finds a photo studio and enters it. The studio claims to capture the moments of a person's youth. She sits down and gets her photo taken, believing that this would be her last time to get a portrait of herself before she dies. However, when she gets out of the studio, Granny is no longer an old woman. It seems that she now looks like she is in her 20s again. Granny couldn't believe what was happening to her. She enters a pharmacy and confirms with the pharmacist and another man that she looks like a young woman. Granny returns to the streets and catches sight of her grandson, but he no longer recognizes her. Confused, she goes back to the same street where she first saw the studio, but it is no longer there. There is another store in its place. Granny's son and grandkids begin to be worried about her because she hasn't come home. The next morning, Granny decides to get a more young-looking haircut. She uses her favorite actress, Audrey Hepburn, as her inspiration. She also treats herself on a shopping trip. She then visits the cafe she works at. She lodges with Bestie so she can hide from her family. But Bestie still doesn't know that she really is Granny. The cafe is filled with retired senior citizens like her old self. She entertains them by singing on stage, and she wows everyone with her enchanting voice. Granny even catches the attention of her grandson, who has come to visit Bestie, and asks him if he has any knowledge of his grandma's whereabouts. The same man from the pharmacy is also there. It turns out that he is a music producer looking for new talent. The grandson tracks down Granny finally, but he has no idea that the current young girl is his dying grandmother. He asks her to join his band because they just lost their vocalist. Granny reluctantly agrees. She meets the rest of his heavy metal band the next day. She is shocked at how loud and abrasive their music is and how pumped their clothes are. Granny complains about their music and convinces them to switch to another genre. They start playing in the streets of the city with Granny as their vocalist. They are now singing charming ballads, and they quickly earn money from impressed passersby. Eventually, the band books bigger gigs and is now on its way to stardom. One night, the music producer sees Granny inside a subway train. She is reprimanding a young mother who can't soothe her crying baby. The mother gets annoyed with her and leaves. When Granny departs the train, the producer tries to follow her like a hormone stalker. She realizes that he is following her, and she confronts him for stalking her sexy body. The producer tries to tell her that he wants to feature her in his show, but Granny misinterprets, thinking that he is magnetically obsessed with her young hormones. So she drives him away in rage. Afterward, the grandson invites Granny as their teammate to their house. She is greeted by her daughter-in-law, who makes her sit down and eat. Granny invents an excuse to go to her old bedroom so she can get her secret money stash. This is because her son had canceled her credit card already after her disappearance. Meanwhile, the son files a missing person case at the police station. The police find security camera footage of a young woman with a purple umbrella using Granny's card to withdraw from an ATM machine. They begin to think that someone has kidnapped Granny, but they do not know that it's Granny herself withdrawing from the ATM. Bestie is with the son, and he squints at the umbrella in the video. He thinks he has seen it somewhere before. When he searches Granny's things, he finds a set of dentures. This confirms in his mind that this young girl had something to do with Granny's disappearance. Sure enough, he remembers that the new lodger in the pension house has a similar umbrella. He spies on Granny and confirms that she does have the same umbrella. On the other side, Granny and the band audition for the producer's TV show. The producer is shocked to see Granny there and immediately offers her and the band a spot in their show. When she gets back to Bestie's place, he confronts her about kidnapping Granny. She then finally reveals her secret and her real identity. Bestie eventually believes her, and he becomes Granny's partner in crime. Granny and the band perform at the show. She beguiles the crowd with a sad ballad, and while she is singing, she remembers all the hardships she had to go through. The father of her child had died, leaving her to raise the baby alone. She had to work as a scullery maid while taking care of her son. Later on, Granny and Bestie decide to experience all the good things that life has to offer. He wears a leather jacket and rides a motorcycle. They even go to a water park and splash around in the gigantic swimming pool. However, the strong wave of the pool causes them to separate. Granny once again crosses paths with the producer. While talking, the producer notices that she has a small wound on her foot and she is bleeding. Suddenly, the skin around the wound starts aging quickly. This means that if Granny gets a dire and major injury, she will lose her youth and turn back into an old woman. When they get back to Bestie's house, Granny asks Bestie to prick her foot with a noodle to test their theory. Sure enough, the skin around the new wound starts aging. While Bestie is holding her sexy but smelly foot, his daughter catches them. She is enraged because she thinks that the young girl is taking advantage of her father's dying hormones, so she throws Granny out into the street in the middle of the night. Granny has nowhere to go, but luckily the producer calls her phone that night. He offers her his apartment and she agrees. The two bond together, and Granny sings him to sleep with a lullaby without servicing him with a tongue massage. That night, Granny's daughter-in-law takes her medicine in the kitchen. She thinks about Granny and feels the pain of missing her. The next day, Granny and the band practice their new song in the studio, but the producer doesn't like their song because it just showcases Granny's talents. The grandson gets angry and accuses Granny of sleeping with the producer. Like any grandma, she reprimands the grandson for his audacity. She then takes him out to eat while giving him life advice. Granny meets with Bestie afterward. He senses that she has a favorite man in her life. Bestie has known Granny for decades, and there is a part of him that has always been in love with her. So he's sad to know that there is another man. That night, Granny's son digs through her things and is shocked to find old pictures of the two of them when he was still a baby. The grandson receives news that they will be performing in a concert soon. The band rejoices and celebrates with him. Meanwhile, the elderly customer that Granny had an argument with died suddenly. Bestie attends the lady's funeral and is sad because they are all at the age where death can claim them at any time. Granny goes on another date with the producer. At the end of their date, he kisses her forehead as he bids her goodnight, which deeply touches her down the way of her heart, not just her forehead. The day of the concert comes, and the grandson gets stuck in traffic. Suddenly, he gets rammed by a truck when he's crossing the street on his bike. Back at the concert, the band's slot is coming up soon. The grandson is still not there, so Granny decides to perform without him. The crowd loves the band, and they sing along with her. The family soon learns about the son's accident. He is in critical condition and needs a blood transfusion, but none of the other family members have the same blood type except for Granny. Granny steps forward and volunteers to give blood, but a blood transfusion would effectively turn her back into an old woman, and Bestie asks her to reconsider. He is afraid that she will lose her chance at a new life. Finally, the son realizes that the young girl is actually his mother. He approaches her with tears in his eyes and begins telling her every piece of advice she has given him throughout his life. He admits that he had been a neglectful son and he should have appreciated her sacrifices more. Granny cries too and says that if she had a chance to live her life again, she would still raise her son and give him more love. Granny is sedated for the blood transfusion. As she closes her eyes, she catches a glimpse of the producer waiting in the hospital. She feels a tiny sliver of regret at what she could have had with him as a young girl. But ultimately, Granny is confident in her decision to choose her family and save her grandson. After the operation, the grandson's life is saved, and Granny turns back into an old woman. Grandson and his band continue performing and are now popular rock stars. The granddaughter even joins the band and replaces Granny as the vocalist. Granny, her son, and her daughter-in-law all support the band and are their biggest fans. Things between Granny and her daughter-in-law are also much better. While exiting the concert venue where the band is performing, Granny catches a glimpse of the producer outside. Through the window, they lock eyes. He seems to recognize her for a moment, but he merely returns his attention to the person he is speaking with. Meanwhile, Bestie also stumbles upon the same magical studio that Granny found before. He steps inside and gets his picture taken. Moments later, Bestie transforms into a dashing man, filled with young hormones. He picks up Granny on his motorcycle. The movie ends with the two of them riding off together, enjoying their friendship. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.